Hi, welcome to the next edition of Closing the Gap. Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Woo! We wanted to do the next edition on the difference between an ISFJ and an ENFP. So I would say first and foremost that you're actually like as sociable as me. So you know how we talk about like the introvert and extrovert?
Yeah.
I don't think, even though I'm an extrovert, that I would say that I'm like necessarily more sociable than you. Like you're a very sociable introvert.
Yes, and I think since I haven't lived with you, and I've lived with someone who has the same 4 letters as I do, that I'm actually a quiet extrovert.
So I would say that one of the main differences between an ISFJ and an ENFP in this circumstances is this whole like task focused, like attention to detail, kind of like, you know, you notice the practical things more, whereas I might be more interested in like, you know, the ambience of the house or like how it feels. You know, I'd be more into the creative expression of the house, wouldn't I? Like making sure that everything looked nice on the surface in a way, whereas you're more interested in like the drawers work and stuff.
Yeah.
You'd be like, this broke, and I'd be like, did it? I wouldn't even notice. That was classic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, like I didn't really care how things were decorated and things were arranged, where Bex had an artistic flair for that and made the flat seem really homely.
That's where the SJ comes in compared to the NP. So I was always like thinking of ideas, wasn't I?
Yeah.
And you were always thinking about like how to get that done. So I mean, a source of friction could be like, I'm not saying we had that, but a source of friction in this circumstance could be that I'd be talking all the time like what to do, and that would frustrate you because you'd be like, let's just get it done then.
Sure. Yeah. I would agree with that statement.
You can say that was annoying at times.
No, it wasn't annoying, but like, because I saw your heart in it, because I saw that you wanted to do it, like I wanted to get it done. Do you know what I mean?
And I love that.
Like, why else would we want to try to get that done? So,
and I appreciated the fact that, I mean, again, as an SJ versus an NP, like this is obviously the starkest difference, really, because obviously, as Michelle's explained, sorry,
it's okay.
As Michelle's explained, she's amnivert, we could say, in terms of, you know, not necessarily being extremely extroverted or introverted. And obviously that's good for me because I'm an amnivert in the sense of being quite an introverted extrovert. So actually we worked well together in that respect. However, it's the SJ versus the NP that's the difficulty. So let me explain to you, Michelle, like the NP is concentrated about creating ideas and it's all about what could be and the possibilities in the world. And the P is like the perceiving, so it's all about taking in more information. It doesn't have joy necessarily in closing things off. It has joy in taking more information in. So there's like a constant, as you can see with me as a personality, there's a constant joy in absorbing new ideas and creating new ideas and taking in more information, but not actually the same kind of like urgency or impulse or natural ability to close things off and make things happen in the same way. Like I'm very good at starting ideas, but not necessarily very good at finishing them. Not saying obviously I haven't finished things off because of course in my life I have, but I would say my natural instinct is the beginnings of things and the ideas and the kind of inception.
The visionary.
Whereas you're the absolute opposite in a way, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like you'd rather be told what to do.
Yeah.
You'd rather get things done. You'd rather close things off. You'd much rather like, I don't want to talk about it unless we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And like you get real joy in like the detail and the getting things done. The concrete the ideas don't really, as an SJ, the ideas aren't necessarily as, how do I say it? They're not as exciting unless you can see a plan of action and definitely a way to get it done.
Yeah.
And obviously, they say actually that if most of the world was made up of ISFJs, the world would be a much better place because they're like the ideal type of getting things done, harmony, peacemakers, selfless, servant people who actually practically do stuff. So if more people in the world were made up of ISFJs, like the world would be a better place with more stuff done. So it's a good job we're not all ENFPs like me, otherwise it would be a mental nightmare.
But I would say very boring. Like if you think of when you were describing that, I was like divergence, like those. Like,
what, me being a divergent?
No.
I love divergent.
The class that family, the main character was from, that would be the whole class of.
Like the selflessness.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. Actually, we should totally. Oh my gosh, what a great idea! Myers-Briggs stereotype, all of the divergent class.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's. Okay. We'll have a next one. We'll have another one on that.
Okay,
cool. I need to change my arm because my arm hurts. Sorry about this, everyone moving the camera. It's just because we want to get a bit of Christmassy England vibe in the background. Ooh, check that out. A bit of sunset and the church in the background. Beautiful. Anyway, back to us.
I guess I'm quite task oriented. So if something needs to be done, I'm not particularly happy about letting it go if it's not done. Like I have to see it to the end.
Interesting.
Whether it's making a decision about going somewhere or filling in an application form, And I can't just apply. Like I have to make sure all the information's in front of me before I can actually put pen down to paper. And things stress me out.
So how do you feel when a plan changes? Talk a bit about that.
If the plan changes from what I want to do, but someone has that plan set in place, like what they want to do, I'm easy. But if they're like, I don't want to do what you want to do, but I don't know what I want to do, that really frustrates me. So I'm like, why don't we just do what I plan to do in the first place? So take example, our family trip. It's like we all have what we want to do, but no one wants to take the responsibility for leading the whole family to go do it. So that's like, okay, so if you're not going to set out what you want to do, then I'm going to carry on doing what I originally planned to do. So yeah. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So I'm totally up for people like doing something new and doing not what I originally planned, as long as they have a plan for me to come alongside them.
It makes sense.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, cool. And then so the routine thing, how do you feel about a routine? Do you like having a routine?
Yeah, it doesn't stress me out.
Does it make you feel better? Like having a routine, does that make you function better?
I think more like goals, working towards something, not necessarily makes me feel better. Yeah. Hard one to mull over.
Yeah, because I think a routine for me, like I love the idea of it, but I've never stuck to a routine in my entire life. Literally never. Like even at school, I would like write a massive, comprehensive, detailed revision timetable, and did I stick to 1 hour of it? No, never in my life. Can you believe I even passed any exams, let alone went to university? It's insane. I'm like, I don't know how I did it. Well, I do know, as an ENFP. Pressure is my best friend. I loved it. I was like, oh heck, I've got 24 hours until my exam. Don't sleep, like, cram. And then I remembered everything, so it's perfect. But I mean, that's not really a nice way to live life. That's very stressful. At least with you actually, I know you stick to things. You're like, I've got an exam, which you have got lots of recently.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to spend an hour a day, or, you got an assignment every week, or, you plan it out so that you're not in stress with it.
Thanks.
I know, I admire that. If you could give me some of that, I'd love it. See, this is where, like, the frustration could occur, I think, between an ENFP and an ISFJ, but I think, actually, you could work well together because, you could encourage each other to be, like, I don't really know, what could an ENFP do to inspire you? Like, because I can see how an ISFJ could inspire me, like, to be a lot more disciplined and orderly, and also like caring about other people, because ultimately as your values are all about other people, you're very selfless. I think that's like a beautiful trait. I love that. I think I can be like that too. I can care about people, but I think
for sure, but definitely, you don't think you care about people?
No, I do.
Do you think people's perceptions of ENFPs is that they don't care about each other?
I don't know. I think if an ENFP isn't careful, particularly with an ISFJ, for example, it can come across like they don't care, because I think an ISFJ is so caring and so like, like you said, like you love getting something completed and you take pleasure in getting the details of a task done. I worry that as an ENFP sometimes, I can come across selfish, because it's not because I'm trying to be selfish, because my heart is good. And like, it's lovely that you say, my intention, but I think sometimes feeling like I'm really bad at getting things finished, or even sometimes like changing my mind, like what I want to do, because more information has come in. It's like not being able to, like, the overriding impulse is always to like, do the most exciting or the best or the newest or the whatever comes up that seems the best for everyone. But sometimes that, particularly for a type like your type, not necessarily you, but a type that is an ISFJ, they can find it difficult to go with the flow in that respect. Whereas I'm like, go with the flow sometimes,
But I think that's
my idea.
Well, that's really important about like going with the flow, because in a way, I think INFJs in that respect are quite selfish, because it's like they have to do everything in orderly, and any kind of interception, it's screwed, and then they all, I'm just talking, freak out, right? Do you know what I mean?
Not you though, you're quite good at that, but I know what you mean. Like you could talk about, your tendency potentially.
Yeah, and I think I'm just talking in reference of living with another
ISFJ. She does know.
ISFJ. Yeah. Yeah. So in that respect, I think it's good to have that balance, because it does mellow people out, and you start to
We've had some good adventures, haven't we?
Oh, for sure. For sure. And I think that kind of combination of living together is actually better, if I must say, than living with necessarily someone with the same personality traits as yourself. So,
okay, let's do tips for those out there who maybe are living together as ENFPs and ISFJs. Okay, I'm going to say it from my point of view. ENFPs out there, make sure you like really encourage and like appreciate how valuable and selfless and like serving an ISFJ is, and how much like they genuinely want to do the right thing, and they care about other people. And just because you feel like you should be flexible all the time, and you feel like you can change your plans because the information will be super sensitive to ISFJs who want to keep with the plan and don't particularly enjoy or find such excitement as you do in changing plans, because actually what they value is sticking to plans and really getting things done and starting something off and finishing off, and that includes plans too. So do you have any tips for those out there who are ENFPs living with ISFJ, like how they can make it... Hang on, I just said that the other way around. The opposite of what I just did. You do.
So for ISFJs living with ENFPs, yeah, just let go, enjoy it, have fun. You let your routines be not messed up, but like put out of the window. Like I think you have a lot of experience and a lot of things you can learn from individuals as such, and yeah, you learn a lot, and I think you learn a lot about yourself, and it allows you to explore new ideas and new things that you would have shied away from or been fearful of. So it makes you develop stronger as a character and in personalities, and it teaches you a lot of leadership skills.
Oh, wow.
So thank you.
I didn't realise I had leadership skills. I do think that we are quite a good combination though socially in some ways, because I feel like you are more like better to stick to plans. Say for example, we committed to go somewhere, like say for example when the Hawaiian boys were around, they would invite us somewhere and I'd be like, oh, I'm bothered to go. Classic me. On the night I don't want to go, you'd be like, we're going. Whereas I'd be more likely to get us invited maybe, or like not necessarily get us invited with them.
Yeah.
But like, I'd be more likely to be like, hey, we're going there, and like have these ideas and like get us to go places, wouldn't I? And then you'd be more like, if I couldn't be bothered in the end, you'd be more like, no, we're going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you find that happened?
Agreed.
So that's how you can work together as an ENFP as an ISFJ.
So the invite and the actual going.
Yeah, basically. Okay, cool. Well, I hope this has been helpful. And whoa. Okay. Okay. Merry Christmas.
Merry
from us.
Christmas.
Bye.